If you all have anything, feel free to come off mic. I won't turn your mic off anymore because we've had some interruptions. Or you can put it in the chat and we'll get your question addressed.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for all the information tonight. My question is related to FAFSA. You know, when you complete it, you had to, I think, list a number of schools. Can you add more to that list at any time, or what is the process if you want to edit the list at any point?
The list of 10 schools you put on your FAFSA, yes, you are able to go back in and adjust that list.
Okay. And is there a limit?
10.
Oh, 10. So at any time, it's just the 10 schools.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. Okay. Thank you.
Hello, I have a question.
Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Rakaya. I have a graduate that's at North Carolina A&T. She formerly used CPS Academic Works. She was able to receive about an extra $15,000 to $17,000 through the database of CPS Academic Works. So thank you very much. We certainly appreciate it. Currently have my last daughter who's a senior this year. She's looking for scholarships. I noticed this year is everything's not on there. Will you be constantly adding more scholarships to the database?
Yeah, so if you look at the, if you use the Scholarship Alert Workbook or even the CPS Google Calendar, you will see the scholarships that are coming. So in Academic Workers, it only show you the scholarships that are currently live, not the ones that are still coming out. But you use the workbook as well as the CPS Google Calendar, or even the student planning guide, which has all of last year's scholarships on there. So you can see the scholarships, when they're coming and their due dates.
Okay, how can I get access? Thank you so much. How can I get access to that scholarship live workbook?
So we're gonna drop the links in the chat and you will be in the chat. And you also can email us at cpsscholarship.edu, and then that auto response, you will see the scholarship alert workbook in there, as well as sign up for our email blast.
Yeah, if you were to email us, you'll get an auto response of all of our resources you can click through. And again, we have all the opportunities from last year, and just so you can like plan ahead.
Well, thank you. Wonderful. Thank you for the work that you do.
Not a problem. Thank you.
Any other questions? You can come off mute or drop them in the chat.
I have a question. My daughter is a senior, and my question is, when my oldest daughter graduated a couple of years ago, they were able to apply for as many schools as they wanted through FAFSA, but now I'm hearing you say it's limited to 10.
FAFSA has always had a max that you could put on the application. So you can apply to many schools as possible. But when you're doing the application of FAFSA, they only allow you to add up to 10 schools at a time.
So if you're applying to more than 10 schools, how do you still apply?
You have to go in and edit the list. You only can have 10 schools on your FAFSA.
So when you're applying to more than 10 schools, you just apply, and what if they ask you, so do you start your FAFSA, or do you just apply to the 11th school, and how do you apply for financial aid?
So financial aid is done through FAFSA. What it is that the financial aid application helps schools award student dollars. So if a student is saying they want to apply to 12 schools versus 10 schools, when it's time to narrow down their decision, they need to go in and add the schools that they're actually thinking about attending on the FAFSA. And then that's how the schools will be able to assess them and give them their financial aid award letter.
So other than filling out the FAFSA form, we haven't heard anything. How do you know that it's being processed or received, or what is the?
So you will get the email once your FAFSA is completed, but your financial aid award letters don't traditionally come out until about March, April from colleges and universities.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Colleges will give you award letters earlier, but you have to check with the institution to see what their policies are.
Thank you, Eric. We can take some more questions. I heard someone come off mute.
Yes, I do have a question. Sorry if this is redundant, but I'm writing kind of slow. The email to sign up for the email blast, the scholarship blast and the academic works, is that college scholarships at cps.edu or cpsscholarships.edu?
It's the email on our screen, so college scholarships.
Okay. One showing right now. Okay, and then my other question was, because I didn't catch the beginning, what is Isac?
Xavier, take that.
Xavier, you still here?
Yes, it just cut off a bit. So can you repeat the question? It cut off a bit.
Oh, I'm sorry. My question is, what is ISAC? I didn't get what that organization was in the beginning or how to access it and what exactly they do.
Yeah, so basically ISAC is an acronym for Illinois Student Assistance Commission, and they are available to assist our students' parents with completing the financial aid applications available, right, to ensure that our students are receiving the proper financial aid to help them with their tuition expenses. So they're a free service that's available for families in the state of Illinois.
Okay, perfect. And sorry, one more question. You mentioned earlier 4 different scholarships: George Pullman, James Hardy, Golden Apple, and then the Wencher Foundation. How do you apply for those? Is that through CPS Academic Works, or are those separate from that?
Yes, all those scholarships are in CPS Academic Works.
Gotcha. Thank you very much.
Not a problem. Yes, Miss Oakley.
Yes, I would like a clarification with FAFSA. With the colleges, you only can list 10. So if you switch out
you can only
others,
list 10 at a time, but once you submit 10, then you can go back and change it and add more colleges, and that does not negate the other 10 colleges you put in. If you change it to like 10 more colleges, you can go to 20 colleges or however many you want.
If you contact ISAC, Illinois Student Assistance Commission, they can give you better information about how to apply for financial aid for more than 10 colleges. I did go to an ISAC workshop where people asked this question. And what I remember them saying was something on the order of, you can apply to 10 at one time, and you need to have those 10 be up there and submitted for at least 3 days to make sure that every school you're applying to is getting that information. If you want to add an 11th school, or you want to add 10 more schools, what would happen is when you put in the new schools, you'll be erasing some of the schools that are already there. So that's why you want to make sure that they've been submitted and that every school that was on that application has received your financial aid information. But ISAC can give you a clearer idea of exactly how to do that correctly, because you don't want to apply to 10 schools and then, the next day, or even, the next day add 5 more schools, but then that might erase 5 of the schools you already applied to if those colleges haven't received that information yet.
So if I can interject here, what I want to make clear is, if there's any misunderstanding, let me clarify that. What you said, ma'am, is exactly correct. But what you're failing to tell the people on the call is that it takes 3 to 5 days for it to process. Once the FAFSA has been fully processed, all the colleges and universities have received have received those colleges. They've received their FAFSA. You cannot go back into your FAFSA and make any corrections to it to add schools, remove schools, until those 3 to 5 days have passed. Once those 3 to 5 days have passed, then you can go into the FAFSA feeling free that there will be no issues, and remove schools from the FAFSA and then add new schools to the FAFSA.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. And the other thing that I would encourage you all that are on the call that attend CPS schools, which we all do, the best resources for you, in addition to us, is also going to the counselors and the college and career coaches that are in your high school buildings. They are thoroughly trained, completely vetted, as are we. They are knowledgeable. We are trained every year. We are FAFSA certified by ISAC, and we provide the correct and most recent and up-to-date information.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
It's important to also note that when you start making a lot of changes to the FAFSA, you also possibly open yourself up for being selected for verification. So making multiple changes will lead to you being selected for verification and having to provide those colleges more information to verify the information that you placed on the FAFSA in order to get an award letter. The key is to be selective about the schools that you're interested in and choose the ones that make the most sense for you. One way to find out about financial aid eligibility from different institutions without adding 100 colleges to the FAFSA is to use the Net Price Calculator Center. You can go there and put in any college and find access to their net price calculator, where they will give you an estimate of financial aid for that institution using the same information that you put on the FAFSA. Net Price Calculator Center. Every college has to have a net price calculator on their website so you can get an early estimate of aid from that institution.
Yes, Ms. Robinson?
Good evening. Thank you for the information. I just want to get a point of clarification, and I don't know if I missed this or not. Someone from CPS spoke about the FAFSA, and it takes 3 to 5 days for those schools to get the FAFSA information before you can switch out. How do we know that the schools that's currently listed, how do we know, okay, how can we confirm that they do have our FAFSA information before we decide, before we want to remove those schools and add a few more? Does that make sense?
Yes. So you can call the schools and you can talk, and the schools can let you know if they received it or not. But again, to Mr. Williams' point, you don't want to be making a lot of changes to your FAFSA to get flagged for verification. That can hold up the process of awarding funds.
Okay, all right, I just wanted to be sure. I heard that part and I was like, okay, he answered part of my question, but I'm just still gonna ask just to be sure.
Definitely understand. Definitely understand, not a problem. Any other questions? Well, a thing that we have been doing in CPS is last 2 years we've been virtual. We have learned to give people back their time. So we do want to give you back your time. If you have any questions, please feel free to email us, ask us any questions for our scholarships. We will get this information out to you by next week on the 22nd. You will have the deck as well as all the links and all of the recordings. Yes, parents can sign up for the email blast. Parents cannot sign up for Academic Works, but you guys can sign up to get the email blast. You guys can sign up for our Google Calendar, and you can see when all of our scholarships are going live, so you can stay on top of your kid and be your student's accountability partner. Again, thank you guys for coming out tonight. We appreciate it.
Real quick, one question, please. Do you have to be a senior to have the Academic Works?
No, so Academic Work is open to everyone in Chicago Public Schools. If you even look at the Academic Works Alive Workbook, you will see that we have scholarships being awarded early as middle school, all the way up to 12th grade. So we have scholarships for every grade level in Academic Works.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, there was a great question about are the applying for federal and state aid require 2 separate applications, or can you do it with just the FAFSA?
You said state, federal, and state aid?
They want to know if you
No,
have to apply separately for both.
No, once you do your FAFSA, that does your state as well as your federal. So that would do your Pell as well as your MAP.
You should include an Illinois institution on your FAFSA for MAP consideration.
All right, I'm going to play some more tunes. If you have any questions, let us know. If not, you guys are free to go. And again, we thank you guys for attending our scholarship information session on tonight.
Good job, information.
If we are able to monitor how many hours.
Hey, are you going to share this recording with us, House?
Yes, this recording will be shared out with you guys next week on the 22nd.
You the man. Great job. Get us that money.